The next song that I'm going to be singing is one that means a lot to my husband Nick. It was a hymn that was sung for his father's funeral, or during his father's funeral service, and also for his mother's funeral service. It was written by a man by the name of Stuart Hamblen. Now, it's interesting to understand where Hamblen was coming from in order to, I guess, understand the real value of this song. Hamblen was the son of an itinerant preacher, but he found that his interest did not lie in God or godly things. So he went into a career of country western music, even going on to become a Hollywood star, acting alongside the famous John Wayne. In fact, Hamblen was quite an interesting person. He tried out different things to find satisfaction and value in life. He went into horse racing. He made world history when he was the first person to fly his horse from one place to another for a race. He went on to win that race. Later on, he ran for President of the United States, and while he did not win, he did quite well. But it was in 1949 that Hamblen came into contact with Billy Graham, and he attended one of his evangelistic meetings. And it was at this meeting that Hamblen came to know the Lord in a very personal way. And from that time onwards, his life took a turn for the better. He gave up his acting career and launched into an itinerant ministry of music and preaching testimony for the Lord and touching the lives of those around him. Hamblen wrote this song particularly when he started to contemplate death and what it implies. Of course, the Bible describes death as a sleep, but until the Lord comes and raises those who believe in him from that sleep, what happens? Hamblen was greatly inspired by Acts chapter 3, verse 20 and 21, which says, "He, that is God the Father, will send Jesus Christ, who was preached to you before, whom heaven must receive until the times of restoration of all things." Of course, as Hamblen also contemplated about the value of life here on earth, he was greatly comforted by what Paul says in 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 5. "Judge nothing before the time until the Lord comes, who will both bring to light the hidden things of darkness and reveal the counsels of the hearts. Then each one's praise will come from God." 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 12 was another verse that had a great impact on Hamblen. And it says, "For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then I shall know just as also I am known." But while here on earth, what are we to do? How are we to live life? Hamblen turned to Titus chapter 2, verse 12 and 13, which says, "Denying ungodliness and worldly lusts, we should live soberly, righteously, and godly in the present age, looking for the blessed hope and glorious appearing of our great God and Savior, Jesus Christ." 1 Peter or 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 13 and 14 says, "We, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, in which righteousness dwells. Therefore, beloved, looking forward to these things, be diligent to be found by him in peace, without spot and blameless." 1 John chapter 3, verse 2 and 3 says, "We know that when he is revealed, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is, and everyone who has this hope in him purifies himself just as he is pure." And I guess these verses cumulatively had a great impact on Hamblen, inspiring him to write this beautiful hymn, which says, "Until then, the world can bring us great heartache, and along the winding path, trouble does befall us. But until then, when Jesus shall raise us from death, Our heart will go on singing while we are here on this earth, while we are alive. Until then, when we shall go to sleep, we'll carry on with joy no matter what befalls us. And then, of course, we need to remember that the things of earth are but temporary. They will dim and lose their value. But our hearts should be set on things that are eternal, because only then can we sing in joy, with joy, as we live our life on this earth. So I'll invite you, if you know this hymn, to sing it with me, please.
Heartache
And if we have our eyes set on heavenly things, then the things of this earth will dim and lose their value, because we'll realize that they're borrowed just for a while. And things on earth that cause us to be sad and cause our hearts to trouble and tremble will only bring a smile, because they lose significance in comparison to the wonderful things that God has prepared for us. So may you and I look forward to that day when Jesus will wipe away all tears. This is my hope. I hope it is yours too. God bless and take care.